Are you impacted by the change of season, by the weather, by it's getting darker and colder here in the Northern Hemisphere? Or, most importantly, are you impacted by the energies of the people who are impacted by this? Because I love this topic. Your mind will tell you that the reason that you feel something, the reason that something's coming up, is because of all these things on the outside. I have several clients, let's say they're feeling something in their body and they go into, oh, but it was that injury, or, oh, I was too close to the AC. It's like, no, that's your body speaking to you. And we get to get curious about that. And we get to understand the energetics behind what is happening and not be a puppet of our minds. So, as tempting as it is, right, to blame the weather, situation, circumstance, what often happens is that we are impacted by the energies of other people. And we're making it mean something. We're having that outer point of reference instead of focusing on the internal point of reference. So this video is all about how do we not be a puppet to the outer reality anymore? How do we learn to work with the energetics and what is actually manifesting your reality, because you have control over your life, because it's all about you and your commitment to self and your energetics and what you're willing to cultivate and nourish. So how do we do that? How do we thrive in that? How do we thrive in these transitions, in these changes, and not be impacted by them? Let's dive right in. Morning, time of day, whenever you are. What does it take to be unshakable in your just centeredness, peace, alignment? What does that look like? So look, we are now where I'm at. I'm in Switzerland, and we are coming into winter. We're coming into this transition. And with that, people go into, and I hear this so much, it's just like, ugh, the weather's ugh. And it feels like ugh. And the lights, ugh, and all of it is like, ugh. And oftentimes, we're not so much impacted, like you're gonna think like, but I'm impacted by the weather, right? Or there's less, vitamin D, right? There's less sun and so on. Oftentimes, what we're impacted by is not so much the circumstances, but the energy of the people around us. Now, there's definitely that part of, like, people like Tony Robbins and Joe Dispenza are going to tell you you're greater than your body, and it doesn't, be greater than your environment. And I love that quote. That's totally true, right? It's like, well, no, the amount of light shouldn't impact how lit up you feel or how down you feel. There's definitely that part. However, other than, it's like I can overcome my physical environment. I'm greater than my environment. There's also the point of my environment is exactly what I want to be, or let's say I overcame my environment, say it's not what I want to be, and I overcame this, and somehow I'm still impacted by those energies. Why is that? And what does it take to not get off course? This is what I want to cover here, because I'm just seeing this so much of that, and we try to explain this by the physical reality, right? What we see outside of us. I actually had an experience a few weeks ago. I was doing a meditation with a close friend, a family member, really was a family member. It's just because somebody that I haven't seen for a long time. And so we're doing this practice, and it's a guided experience. And then the afternoon after the person just collapsed, they had a headache, they had body aches. And the sister of this person goes, oh, well, you were probably sitting right next to the AC, and this is why you're not feeling well, or maybe you're catching a cold. And we're looking for those outer kind of ways to explain what is happening. And I went to this person and was like, okay, that was stuff being triggered energetically. Like, we did this deep practice, so all of these things came to surface, and that was your body like, oh my God, finally someone's listening to me. And this happens very often. This is why I strongly do not recommend to do like intense practices on your own, because first of all, there may be side effects that you need help managing. And yeah, second, it's like you can, either not go deep enough or go too deep. So this was, under control. And I reached out to them and said that here's what you can do to make yourself feel better. And let's do like a little practice where you can listen to this recording. And they did, and it was all okay and all good. And then their sister goes, oh, and there I was going into like, oh yeah, it must be the AC or it must be this, like looking for reasons to explain why you feel the way you feel. And this is the same thing. We feel like a lot of people kind of feel down with these shifts, and we go into, oh, right, it must be the weather. It must be the lack of vitamin D. It must be this and this and this. And really, it's energetics. 90% of your life is energetics. And we try to make everything outside of us work because we're denying those energetics. It's so much easier to just come back to you, work on the energetics and see this manifest in your outer reality. But the ego will tell you, it's like, no, I gotta fix all of this and then I'll feel better. And then you kind of do for a short amount of time, but it's not long term. And this is actually what we did yesterday in the Powerful Self membership. We had a workshop that is all about embodying your greatness. What does that look like? What does it mean, first of all? And being really clear, like one of the points that I want to share with you guys here from the workshop yesterday. By the way, check out the membership if this is something that resonates with you. How do we keep that energetic hygiene? Because like I said, most of your life is energetic, really important. So one of the things that we did yesterday was really emphasizing what does it take to stay centered, to stay at peace, to make that point of reference internal rather than external. Because we look on the outside, it's like, first of all, again, the environment, but also, oh, but this person's also upset. Oh yeah, like, I'm not crazy. I should feel down right now because so many other people are feeling down. And we buy into that. So instead of that, making yourself your internal point of reference. What does it take for you to maintain that frequency high? And again, this is literally why I created the Powerful Self membership. Because as much as you can come in from the mind, right, this is what I need, this is what serves me, until you're actually practicing this, until you're actually committed to maintaining that hygiene. And it doesn't mean like, okay, I got to meditate 3 hours per day. It's like, no, it can be little practices. And again, like that content library is like full of practices, meditations that are short, long, like anything you want. So when we do this consistently, it creates the results. You understand that you can actually like slide through life and just flow through, and it doesn't have to be this, right, I gotta like climb a mountain. It's smooth because you're not fighting life anymore. You're not going with your mind's, explanation or validation of what is happening. You come within. And this is one of the things I addressed yesterday in the workshop, that big shift that was when you're living from, depending on the outer circumstances, when you're living from that point of, I need others to like me to feel good. I need everyone around me to be at peace, to feel good. You're never going to get there. Or you may temporarily get there. It's like, oh, well, I'm at a party. Everybody's pretending they're having fun. So, I can relax and I can have fun too. Or, like, it's a family dinner and everybody's like on their best behavior. So, okay, now it's all good. And again, it's not consistent. It's not stable. So doesn't it make more sense to invest in that which is stable? So one of the things that yesterday with that practice, I was saying how you can do this big thing outside of you. Let's say it's a big meeting or family gathering or a date or whatever. And we think that it's that thing, that was the win. But it's not that thing. The win is actually how do you show up to yourself afterwards. The win is how do you work with all these emotions, feelings, the energetics that are underneath all of that? How do you work with your subconscious as a result, like what came up as a result of that experience? And that is the shift. So, what does it look like for you? Because I want this to be tangible. I want you to walk away with something. I'm in my foundation. I am grounded, rooted, centered. What does that look like for you? What is one practice? And the mind's going to go into like, oh, it's got to be this big thing. I got to go to Paris or, I don't know, Bali or Hawaii. It's like, no, it doesn't have to be that. Just what's a one simple yes step? Oftentimes a common one that it has something to do with nature, being out in nature, connecting, Maybe nourishing your body in some way. What is one step? What is one practice, needle moving step forward to tuning in to more groundedness, more centeredness, to just, it starts with, on the mind level, you saying yes to you. I'm worthy of this. I choose this. I choose my peace of mind. I choose to not get lost in other people's stories or in the situations, circumstances outside of me. I choose me. I choose my subconscious. I choose that inner connection. So what does that look like for you? And I would love, love, love to hear it below. So go ahead and comment. What does that look like for you? What are you hearing me say, and what came through? And on this note, I thank you so much for being here. By the way, the link for the membership, if you want to check that out, is down below. And I'm wishing you the most powerful day.